Hello, and thank you for checking in with us today on Hotel Home. As always, I'm your hostess, Rayna, and today I have a new special guest for you, Ryan Jusk. Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Thanks for coming. How's your finger?
It's still broken, but better.
Good. You still have the metal on it, I see.
Yeah, it's extra protection.
One day, he will have a fingernail again.
I'm like $1 million man. Slowly but surely.
But you only have $1 million fingernail.
Yeah, but you don't know what it can do. Amazing things.
So, how long have you lived in hotels?
About 2 years.
All right. And since you've started living in hotels, about how many different language areas have you been through? We can
I'd
count
say
if you want.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
English,
English.
French, Portuguese, Spanish,
Ugh.
Japanese, Mandarin, whatever they speak in Cambodia. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever Filipino.
Okay.
Tagalog, that one is the Filipino one.
We've had help from our studio audience.
And whatever they speak in Malaysia.
Malaysian?
Maybe. It could be Mandarin, because they're all very close together. But many places. So
yeah, 9 or 10.
Yeah, up there.
Alright. And how many languages do you speak?
Fluently English and swoop.
So 1.
Yeah.
That was 1 for those of us counting at home. Okay, so in all these areas where you don't speak the language, what are some ways that you communicate with people?
Body language works really well for the most part. But whenever I need words, usually I point to pictures or charades work sometimes. And if I need to go somewhere, I usually point to me, and this is why I know swoop, because I go swoop, and then I go somewhere.
Alright. Can you give us one of your charades examples?
Well, I had to order pizza in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a while to get to Italian. And once I got there, I could go circle for pizza. And then, okay, pizza. We understand pizza. Okay, cool, pizza. Now, what do you want on it? Okay, I want bacon. So, like, little curly tail, pig, chop it up, and you fry it. So that required Pictionary. They understood Pictionary very well.
Did you have the game with you?
No, I had paper and pen. They understood Pictionary a little better than charades. Well, okay, when you are acting out a pig, people get a little confused and a little scared at the same time.
I can imagine that. Probably doesn't happen very often.
For you or for me?
Well, I can't think of a time that I've ever seen anyone sitting in a restaurant acting out a pig. But not with the tail.
No, not with the tail.
Have you ever used Google Translate to communicate with people?
I have, but it doesn't work very well when you're overseas without internet. Mm-hmm. Internet, you really miss internet for moments like that. But usually I will, if I know what I'm about to do, I will look up common phrases on Google Translate, or any other translation programs, for example, and I will write them down and get a generic idea of what I'm trying to ask them, and hopefully we can play charades the rest of the way.
Excellent. I know I was lucky enough when I was taking laundry in once that the nice lady behind the desk knew no English, but she did have a computer, and so she kept handing me the keyboard to type things in. It didn't quite line up, though, so that could be another problem, even when you do have Wi-Fi.
Google Translate translates very generically, and if you actually back-translate some things, you look at it and you say, oh, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ask you how your grandmother was doing today.
Oh. Interesting.
So Google Translate good, but not perfect.
It takes liberties.
Yeah.
All right. You said you've done charades? Have you ever had problems where some of the gestures that you've made meant something else in that language or culture and it caused problems?
I fortunately have not encountered that, but I do know that there are some gestures that you don't make towards other people. Like the okay symbol
Mm-hmm.
doesn't always mean okay. This is pretty universally good. If what they're doing is what you want, yeah, okay, aha. But if you go, you could be saying some rather negative things about somebody's parental units.
And this is also good if you're sentencing somebody at the Coliseum, right?
Yeah. If you want them to live.
Yeah. Living is good.
I like living.
Yeah. You also like eating, right?
I love eating.
Have you ordered food out in any of these overseas places?
Yes, I have.
And what method did you use to do that? I imagine Pictionary didn't work so well over the phone.
No, Pictionary didn't work so well over the phone. The languages that I didn't know, I thankfully had somebody on the other end of on my end of the phone that could translate my Pictionary. And with the extremely limited Spanish I know, I ordered room service in Argentina, I believe it was, or somewhere down there. And I know enough to know what cheese is in any language because cheese is awesome and I love cheese and I always want cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I find like water and common things that I want and Coke. I need
So
to know.
you can order cheese, water, and Coke.
Yes, Coca-Cola for you Texans out there who realize that there are different kinds of Coke. But yes, I have my standbys of things that I order and I usually get those whenever I need to order over the phone.
When you had somebody else order for you, was it a random person from the street or hotel staff or friends?
Well, very rarely friends because I do have some people who speak the Espanol on traveling around with me, so I tend to ask them for favors when we're like, I'm hungry. Can you order me pizza? But in the random places like Brazil where nobody speaks Portuguese except the Portuguese and Brazilians, I went to the front desk downstairs and Pictionary'd for about 30 minutes before they realized roughly what I wanted, and then they called and said, oh no, they can't do that. So we had to re-Pictionary and redo my order. And then, okay, they can do that. Cool. And then it gets to me and it's not what I want at all, but I eat it anyway.
So at least you get fed.
I get fed. But there have been some unexpected alterations to my order.
Like what?
Nothing horrific, but like corn on pizza or mayonnaise on pizza or ketchup, mayonnaise, and mustard that come with the pizza. It's just little weird things. Pizza as an example.
It's like a sandwich. You just put your condiments on and...
Yeah, and you fold it and you just kind of eat your massive stromboli sandwich.
There you go. I know there are some hotels that have issues calling out if they have an in-house restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever run into that problem?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I was in Fukuoka, Japan, and we had heard there was, I believe, a Domino's around. And the front desk absolutely refused to order us Domino's. There's a lot of places, particularly while we were in Japan, that would not allow any rooms or any out orders to the building. They probably think that we're trying to get it delivered to the room when really we just want it to the hotel. We'll come downstairs. But they said, no, we won't help you. So I literally walked outside and talked to a few guys smoking. And through my incredibly limited Japanese, got him to understand I was trying to order food. And then it was charades from then on, and it was very, very, very slow, very, very painful. And 2 hours later, I had a pizza in my hand.
So it was worth it.
Yes, it was very worth it. But that is about the boldest I have been upon ordering food. It's just going up to a total stranger and saying, "Help."
Now, after this experience, will you ever play Pictionary again or charades?
I think I will dominate at Pictionary and charades after this. I think anybody going against me just has an unfair disadvantage.
There you go. Um, I know I found a couple of websites in other countries, especially Argentina and Taiwan, where I could order things from an English menu.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done that?
I have. The problem is a lot of those websites that are translated in English only translate certain parts of the web page in English, to the point where if I can find my way to the actual food items, they're all in English. It's just the links to everything are still in Mandarin, and it's a little hunt and peck. Just click until you find what you want, and then you can figure the rest out on your own.
Do you think it's important to try to learn some of the language in all these different places that you're going?
Oh, most certainly. At the very least, because, in my opinion, it's respectful. I'm in your country. I should be at least trying to speak your language.
And how do you go about learning it? Do you just walk around with a pocket dictionary?
I have been known to Google Translate some very common phrases before I left, like even the States. If I'm going abroad, I'll Google Translate some important stuff. But if I find people, I usually figure out how to ask them, how do you say? And then I can ask them in English if they understand me well enough, and they can help me slowly, very slowly learn the language.
Mm-hmm.
So that's usually how I go about it. And quite frequently, when I'm abroad in foreign-speaking lands, I have somebody who speaks the language and mine that I can bounce questions off of, and I tend to pick up languages decently quickly.
And you also have a fun iPhone app that you've used recently, right?
I have, and I really enjoy it. It's a little silly, but I love Mind Snacks. Mind Snacks is awesome. They have so many different, very common languages, but it's fun learning it, and I'm surprised at my retention of the languages. I have fun playing a game, and then I turn around and actually use the things I've learned in street conversations with people.
Excellent. And I believe you brought a list of your top 10 phrases that you think you should know if you're traveling abroad.
These are very important.
Okay. You really did come up with these. I just wrote them down.
Yes. So number one for me is excuse me. I think it's very important in any language to be able to pass somebody without bumping into them if they're in your way, or if you do something that you feel is inappropriate, you say excuse me. Yeah, I think that's very important, and that's usually the first phrase I learn. That and I also learn to speak thank you and please and just very polite phrases. So that's three of them. Excuse me, thank you, please. Where's the bathroom?
That's a good one.
Always very important. Usually charades works for that as well. Or if I learn to say the word where, and I just go like this and say where in the foreign language, they usually get the point and go, well, over there, don't do it here, please, just go.
Or they think you mean where is the Ritalin?
Maybe, but 9 times out of 10, I find the bathroom usually masculine for me, which is a bonus.
Are the markings on the doors similar in all countries?
Decently. I have been in very few situations where they are just in script. And I don't know Portuguese for men and Portuguese for women. And in more difficult countries like Taiwan, where it doesn't even look like anything I know, and it's just scribble and scribble, I kind of toss a coin and hope I make it in the right one. And if I hear screams, I run away really fast.
Good plan.
So where's the bathroom is for? A nice one is I don't speak whatever language you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Usually people come up to me and start speaking like, "Hey, why are you here?" and "Where are you from?" And most of the time it's in a language I have no idea what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So tied in with I'm sorry, I will say I'm sorry, I don't speak your language.
Mm-hmm.
Also tied with that is I only speak English. That's very common and good and works very well because if they don't speak English, oh, and they walk away. So that's 5. I like knowing check, as in the bill for a meal, because there are some countries that you pretty much can stay at a table indefinitely without any wait staff coming up to you and asking you if you need anything, basically telling you to leave, please, because we need to use this table. And the only way to get somebody over to you is to say, excuse me, or to say check. And even if you get them over there, you still have to communicate what you want. So charades usually works, but
pulling out money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay you now.
Or they can be taken as bribe in some places. So knowing how to say check is also a good thing. So that's 6. I like numbers. Numbers are very helpful, particularly when you go to fast food joints and they have combo menus. Knowing how to say number 1 is infinitely easier than saying Whopper with cheese. Granted, in some languages it's pretty universal, like Big Mac and Whopper pretty much translate easily. But if I want the local chicken sandwich from the McDonald's, I don't know how to say chicken sandwich in Japanese. So I say the number of the combo, and we charades the rest of the way there.
The large one with the fries.
Small. Yep. Charades works immensely. Help is also a good one. Not really advisable to be said randomly in open public areas for no reason. People get really scared when you do that. However, if I need something, or if I have a map, I'm trying to find out where to go, usually the word help and pointing to a map and dropping a name of like McDonald's, that will usually get the message across of, oh, he wants to find out where McDonald's is and would like my help figuring that out. So there's that. For cabs, driving around, getting around a city, take me and insert wherever you want to go is usually good. Like saying, take me to the hotel. So it's usually one of my top phrases to know, because I can get places. It's getting back to the comfort of my nice warm bed so I can sleep and eat. That is incredibly important.
And I know one of the tricks that we've used is to make sure you get a business card from the hotel. That way you don't have to remember the name or the address or anything. You can just say, here, please, when to go. Just
hand it. Some places even on the room key, they'll have it. But yes, business cards are amazing because they have an address and a name of a hotel and even a phone number if the cabbie feels inclined to call and ask, I have this random person, should I bring them to your hotel? And then the last one is plain bottled water, because in a lot of places you can drink the water. You can. It just
but you don't want to.
It just doesn't make for pleasant times after. So usually you drink bottled water, and in certain countries, like Latin countries, if you just ask for water, you run the risk of getting fizzy water with bubbles. And when I'm eating, I don't particularly like fizzy water. I would just like plain water. So knowing how to say agua sin gas is very, very important to me personally, because I need water to live, and I need to be able to communicate that.
Okay, I've got one more question for you. It's a pop quiz. Are you ready?
I don't like pop quizzes.
Off the top of your head, how many languages can you say please in?
Off the top, do you want me to say them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so please.
Please. I don't like pop quizzes.
Okay, right now we're in Japan. Can you say it in Japanese?
I can say thank you. I can say, no, wait, that's I'm sorry. That one's also important. Kudasai. Aye.
Hey. Okay.
Japanese. No, don't know Mandarin. Never learned that one in Mandarin. I used to know it in French. Oh yeah, s'il vous plaît. Thank you, studio audience. I'm horrible with pop quizzes.
Do you know Spanish?
I do know Spanish. It's por favor, which is the same in Portuguese.
You gotta switch fingers. Okay.
And the rest of the countries, I wasn't there long enough to need to say please. I was very rude. I apologize, other countries. I'm very sorry.
But four is not too bad.
No, not horrible. For only knowing one language, I think 4 is pretty good.
And for it being a pop quiz. He was unaware that I was going to ask that.
She's very mean.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much for checking in with us today. And thank you, Ryan, for being here and sharing that with us.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you at home will have a little more of an idea of how to communicate if you are traveling. And as always, I am your maven of moving. And thank you for checking in with us today. And may you always travel home.
Charades.